not every relationship and not every dynamic is the right fit. So, I'm a little sad today, so I'm listening to some lo-fi music while I edit some 3D animation for a client. A couple nights ago, I was playing Dungeons & Dragons on like a normal Tuesday night every week with my friends, and in this campaign, in this story, I'm playing a character that is a bit different than what I normally play. His backstory with the way that I've built him and the way that I'm playing him have led to some really fun edgelord memes and tropes that we have a lot of fun with that come from his antics. However, there's a greater problem of party dynamics. My character wants more than anything to support the party in achieving their goals and overcoming challenges. I mean, he's a support character, both in-game mechanically and personality-wise. But the party has a problem with how he approaches overcoming challenges, and rightly so. With how the majority of the party is made from nobility and, let's say, light, good characters, my character doesn't really fit with all of that. His skill set is based off of being able to prey on people's greatest fears, which is kind of an intimidating, even arguably evil thing to do. That being what he's good at, and him trying to use that even to aid the party, it doesn't jive well, because even if he's successful in bringing about the success of the party as a whole, the way he went about it isn't going to be okay with everyone else. That's a problem. And the party is not wrong for disliking his approach. That leaves the question, though, of what do I do with him? What do I do with my character? He feels, as a person, unaccepted, as he has his whole life. But I also, as a player, feel shut down, because at every turn I'm looking at the kit, I'm looking at his skill set and his abilities, and what can I do to bring about the success with my character, use my character to bring about the success of the party as a whole. Nothing fits, nothing in the toolbox is appropriate for the challenge at hand. You could make the argument that I, as a player, have chosen to play my character in this way, and that would be completely fair, and that I could simply choose to play him a different way. However, that would change the character as a person. And on a fundamental level, if you think of the character as a real person, of course he's just fictional, but if you think of him as a real person, that should trigger some red flags in your mind, as it does mine. My character shouldn't have to be a completely different person to be accepted by a group of people. He doesn't deserve that, and I don't think anyone deserves that. But it's also the case that not every relationship and not every dynamic is the right fit. And I think that's the case here. So what it comes down to is this. I've created a character that simply does not fit the party dynamic. I didn't know that when I first created him. I just thought I was making a cool character with a unique idea. And probably not a unique idea, but something that was unique to me that I hadn't done before. And the rest of the party didn't know that it wasn't going to be a good fit. And arguably, they're such cool people that they would even still say that, oh no, of course, it fits. He's different and we're still trying to figure things out, but no, of course we can make it work. But I think the responsibility is on my hands to look at it and realize that it doesn't work. I respect the party and the players enough to not only recognize this, but then do something about it. And I respect my character enough as a person to not change who he is and just let him go. I think it's better for him to go off on his own or join a different group that is a better fit for him specifically. I, as a player, will roll a new character that will very intentionally, after being with these other characters for a year and a half, will gel much more naturally and fit better with the party that I'm in. And while I'm sad that I don't get to keep playing the character that I originally built, it would be a mistake, I think, to keep playing him in the current setting and force that dynamic. If you ever find yourself in a similar scenario, or you know someone that is, remember this. You're not a bad person for having created a character that, after exploring and adventuring together, you realize isn't a good fit for the group. But it is a mistake to realize this and then continue to try to force that dynamic that doesn't work. If you are the 1 out of 5 that stands out, not as someone who's different, there are strengths that come from differences, but severely contrasts the group's values and overall goals, then it's a mistake to force that on the rest of the group. If you realize that your character isn't a good fit for the group, that's okay. It happens in real life. It's bound to happen in the fantasy world too. And yes, characters can have arcs and build relationships and even repair damage in relationships in-game over time. And that can be a really cool story. But it's important to recognize the difference between working towards bridging a gap or repairing a relationship and forcing a dynamic that just doesn't work and isn't going to work. The power is in your hands, as it is in mine, to change your circumstances and bring about a better, more satisfying game experience. I hope this video finds you well, and good luck on your adventures.